What's up guys, my name's Dychronic here on this Destiny 2 video, and today we're going to be showing you my 405 fully masterworked legendary Solstice armor 405 light with as well the 405 weapons and stuff on my Titan. For the most part, a lot of people have done this. You know, obviously I'm not the first one to do this. I'm not even one of the first, like, probably 1,000 to do this. You know, it's not that special, but I wanted to make a video about this to show off what I have, what it looks like, the kind of things and effects it has. For example, if you didn't know, the little colors and stuff, they turn off when you have the wrong subclass on. I don't know, I just thought it'd be interesting to show. And then also, the main part of this video, just mention a bunch of tips about the random different things throughout upgrading this armor that I had problems with that I found very unique and elegant solutions to. An example would be doing like 10 patrols. I found a particular area that you can do a patrol every 2 to 3 minutes very quickly, and makes it a lot easier. But before we get into this, let's go ahead and check out what I got on my character, because it has taken a long time to get all of these things. The weapons are obviously from the Prestige raid layers. They're not part of the Solstice stuff, but if you want to get 405, you gotta have the weapons as well. As far as my armor goes, I've already reached the maximum upgrade. I have gotten them all Masterwork. Fun fact, they still cost Masterwork cores, even though they say you have to do the upgrade. As soon as you finish the upgrade, you basically just have to do it yourself. And then the last little note I wanted to make about this is, for example, you can actually put the ornaments on them. So any of the previous items, if you wanted that particular look to your armor, you can actually go back and do that. Overall, obviously, the better one is the best looking one, so there's really no point. As far as the colors go, I didn't find too many colors that looked that great with this armor set, but this is the Titan set, and Titan sets often have a bit of difficulty and weirdness to their coloring, but there are definitely some interesting and fun ones. For example, this bright red with the bright orange on this definitely looks interesting, definitely looks very cool. There's definitely some other ones and combinations of colors that I've seen out there that look cool. But anyways, let's go ahead and get into the tips. Let's go ahead and start with the first set, upgrading your green to the blue. The first and biggest thing that I had trouble with is gonna be strike orbs. On the Titan, you have to get a certain number of solar orbs in strikes. For the other two, you have to get arc orbs. Now, this is not particularly difficult to understand, but it takes a really long time because you're forced to do regular strikes, which have a lot less elite enemies and a lot less chances of getting orbs. On top of that, your teammates can be doing some completely other orbs that you don't need at all. So I got two ways to do this a lot faster. Firstly, if you see a public event while going through that particular strike, for example, on Exodus down, if you go to the point right passing by failsafe, stop there and wait for the public events. They will give you tons and tons of elites. I went to 70% in that single strike because of that. And secondly, I heard that you can do this on the Nightfall. Now, I haven't actually done it on the Nightfall, so I cannot confirm or deny, but I heard that since it's a 270 and more elites spawn on the Nightfall, it is a better source of those strike orbs. So grab a few friends and start grinding out some regular Nightfalls, and you should be able to get it quite quickly. And then lastly, we tried doing stuff with heroic strikes, but it was very difficult since you can't do any damage with that full set of green on. Next up, let's talk about super kills. Getting 30 super kills for that first set, it took me 10 games on my Titan until I realized you can actually just do it in 2 games. And that 2 games is mayhem. Obviously, getting super kills is going to be a lot easier when your super comes back every 10 seconds. That being said, mayhem is going on right now this week and will not return in the Solstice of Heroes. So if you are still in this week when watching this video, make sure you do your mayhem for all the characters you can think of, because mayhem will go away. And on top of that, it's 2 times Valor Weekend right now. So go out there and have some fun and get some bunch of Valor. A couple of miscellaneous things, doing heroic public events. Make sure you're doing the instance glitch where you complete a heroic public event as fast as you can, then re-teleport to the location right next to it, and you should join a new instance with new people that hopefully have not finished it yet. Just keep teleporting a few times until you've known that pretty much nobody's doing it. And make sure you're solo. You cannot do this with teammates. For some reason, you cannot re-instance with a teammate. When it comes to patrols, I found that the Trostland is going to be the fastest. There's 3 patrols in the area. It does not matter which one it is in this entire area. If it's salvage, it's almost always dregs or fallen. If it's kill quest, it's just kills. If it's a scout report or a wanted stuff, it's very close by. It should take you less than 2 minutes, and every single one of these patrols should take you less than 2 to 3 minutes. If it's taking you longer, or if it looks like it's going to take you longer than 3 minutes, just abandon it. It's not worth your time. And a last little detail is going to be, if you are still short on orbs, for example, getting solar orbs, the mission called Payback is very powerful for getting you tons and tons of solar orbs. And the reason that is because the tank counts as solars. So you're shooting solar at a bunch of elites the entire time, all elites, and you get a metric buttload of solar orbs. I got pretty much all the solar orbs I needed for my hunter in half of the mission, which was ridiculous. So anyways, let's go ahead and move on to the next set, upgrading your blue to the legendary. There's a couple of ones that are somewhat difficult. First off, doing a nightfall. Not everybody here does nightfalls all the time, and they're not as comfortable doing nightfalls. In general, I believe that if you have 3 people that are of the right light level, which means literally just the light level you need to enter, you should not have that much problem completing a nightfall. So just pick whatever you think is easiest, find some people, perhaps on looking for group sites like lfg.net, and that one should not be that hard. Speaking of nightfalls, if you wanted to get grenade kills very quickly, make sure you go on a prestige nightfall and equip the modifier called Grenadier. Now obviously, you don't have to have any other modifiers on, but Grenadier makes your grenades do more damage and recharge much faster. If you're also looking to get easy melee kills, Brawler is also another alternative to doing exactly the same thing. If you want to get lots of melee kills and you want them to do a lot more damage, you want to charge a lot faster, prestige nightfall with Brawler on. And then lastly, the exact same thing if you're looking for power weapon kills. However, this one was quite easy while doing everything else. Put on heavyweight, go through prestige nightfall, and it should be very easy. I kid you not, prestige nightfalls are much easier than regular nightfalls because of these bonuses and these advantages. Now, if you are looking to get super kills, I recommend you rally the public event flag. If you did not know, if you go to the flag before a public event starts, it'll start a counter, and it'll also give you full ammo and full super, and all of your abilities pretty much top you off on everything just by grabbing that flag. So teleport into any area, grab the flag before the public event starts, and you'll get a full super that you can use on your enemies all around you. On top of that, you can also use this to get heavy weapon kills, since you get a full amount of heavy ammo. And then once you finish your super and all your heavy ammo, just teleport to the same spot, grab the same rally flag again, and then you should be able to do it again and again and again until the public event starts, then go to a new area and do it again. Some more tips on melee. If you're a Titan, the Sentinel super ability actually counts as melee kills, which is really nice. If you're a hunter, I recommend the throwing knife headshot to give you back your throwing knife subtree, which I think is the bottom one, and just keep getting headshots over and over again in Escalation Protocol Wave 1. You should be able to get this pretty quickly. And then lastly, I heard that the Stormcaller's super counts as melee, but I don't know, I haven't tested that. Let me know if that's true. As far as adventures go, completing 10 adventures takes a pretty long time. Some things I've found about adventures, someone told me you cannot do the blue adventures, which is the normal mode adventures that you can repeat, but some other people were telling me that that's not true. So I cannot confirm or deny those because I did all heroics trying to get some of those heroic adventure drops like the Huckleberry Catalyst. But as far as the adventures go, I would highly recommend doing the Mars adventures because those ones, in my opinion, are the fastest. And then once you run out of all of those adventures, just give somebody else the lead and they'll go through all of theirs in that particular day. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on to the last upgrade, which is going to be upgrading it from the purple writing to a Masterwork. Once you get to the purple, you already have the 400 armor. So if you don't care about getting Masterwork, don't worry about this next part. It's really not that critical. That being said, there are a couple ones, if you want to do them, that are a little bit weird or have some weirdities to it. Let's go ahead and start with the first one, which is going to be getting a bonus threshold on a Nightfall. To get this, you need a 110,000 score in a Nightfall. Trust me when I say this, this is not as difficult as it sounds, especially considering you have 400 to 405 armor on your character guaranteed at this point. My recommended strategy would be to go into the Prestige Nightfall with the maximum gear you can have, you know, the best highest level guns, the highest level armor, which is currently your Solstice armor, and go with these modifiers. I would honestly just go with Extinguish, Match Game, and Famine. They're not that hard of modifiers, and they do give you a good score. As far as the handicap, you could go for anywhere from 10 to 30, and you should be able to get it fairly easy, especially if you have around 400 light. Having a 30 handicap really does not make it harder whatsoever. You're not even underleveled at all. And with this type of modifier card, we were able to get 150,000 while dying all the time, messing up, having somebody go to orbit to come down with a different weapon. Overall, you should have no problem getting 150,000 with this. You can even lower it and remove some of these modifiers if they're having too much trouble. Next up, let's talk about getting to Legend rank. Right now, it is a 2 times Valor week. Next week, starting next Friday, will be a 3 times Valor week. So make sure you get in and do those. If you've already passed Legend rank like I have, just complete 1 Crucible match and you will have it completed. Next up, let's talk about bosses. The very last thing, the class item says you have to defeat a certain number of bosses. In my experience, it has to be bosses that you personally kill. So I did a raid and I did not get an update to this at all. I went to some public events and I did not kill the spider tanks and I did not get an update. But then one time when I was using Escalation Protocol shotgun and I was just dumping into the boss, I actually did get an update and I was able to get to my 10 out of 10. So as far as those bosses goes, you have to get the kill, and they have to be yellow health, public event bosses, strike bosses, maybe raid bosses. Lost sector bosses don't count. Yellow health enemies throughout missions also don't count. And I think bosses count as named yellow health barred enemies. Anyways, that's the video for you guys today. Hope you guys did enjoy. Thank you for making it all the way to the end of the video. Here's some cute baby elephants for your time. Why elephants? Because it's the first animal to pop in my head, because they make cute little trumpety sounds when they're little babies, and also because they're adorable. And that's it. That's the video for you guys today. Let me know if you had any trouble with some other things. Let me know in the comments down below. I'd be happy to help, give you some tips. And yeah, that's the video. My name's been Dychronic, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Whee!